Hey guys, so I figured I'd just make this little video, just talking about this so you could play it back and pause it and do whatever you guys want to help see or understand some of the kind of decisions we have to make going forward. So this is just a preliminary kind of look at it. This is a floor plan. Even if some of the numbers are off, that's okay. This is just to get us an idea of what the spaces are kind of looking out and how things are going to function. And I was taking a look at some of the photos. So before I even get started, some things we need to check on is I know there's a window here somewhere, I think going into a bathroom. And then I know there are stairs that lead up to, or there's an access point to the basement down here. And so if this is kind of the model that we want to work off of, if we like how this is kind of feeling and looking, um, I think we need to think about a way to address the stair issue and then the window thing. I don't think the window thing's a big deal, to be honest, but the stair thing might be. Like we might have to reorient the stairs in some way, some capacity here. So anyway, this is just to give us a kind of sizing layout of how things are working. I know that it was something around 16 to 18 feet in width and 12 feet in length extending out from the house. Right now I have a 6 foot wide little deck that you walk off of and on into this would be the driveway kind of area. And just one door here. So I think the easiest way to work is mostly off of these kind of renderings. It's the easiest thing to help visualize stuff. So really simple layout. It's just six windows or six operable windows here. And I think if you guys are trying to do this on a budget, the easiest way to do that would be to use double or single hung windows, which is what these are, versus casements, or you could use sliders as well, um, which is I think what's going on in the rest of the house. Um, but again, super simple shape. I think this will be by far the simplest shape to work with, and then also it'll be the I think it'll give you the best result, what you want it to wind up looking like. So as we were kind of talking about before, walk up the stairs and into the room. Now, and I know this was the wall, just to get the program or like the elements of the project in there. Sorry, the music. The elements of the project working accurately. So we want this wall to be opaque, and it's going to have the TV just from the instructions. So this is just confirming that. So that's what we want this to look like. This is going to obviously be the main kind of feature wall that has these two fixed triangular windows, and then we have a lot of the glazing, a lot of the glasses here. Now, I think we could potentially go a little bit bigger, a little bit lower. These are 5030, so 3 feet wide, 5 feet tall windows. So there's plenty of, you get plenty of air in there, and there's a good amount of visibility that you could see out of it. And then we have two more of the same windows, and then a 8 foot window, and we can get rid of these panes. We could just make it um, just get rid of the panes and have it just be a sheet of glass. It is a sheet of glass, even if it does have the illusion of panes. But anyway, so as we could see, with that 12-foot dimension, it's a little bit narrow, I think, for what you guys are wanting to use with the space. So putting in a couch and potentially two chairs, table, and have the TV being here. Now, there's a couple things we could do to change things up. One is to potentially, well, A, this could be fine for you guys. Like if this is how you want it to look, that's totally cool. I think that'll work. I think it'll work pretty well. You maybe have to get a little bit creative with the furniture. These are pretty big sampled chairs. Um, but another potential thing to do is to change which wall has a TV. So we could put that over here on this wall, which really orients the space more towards watching TV, but I think it'll just work a little better. And what that would look like is, you could have your sofa in the middle and then a chair on either end and then your coffee table in the middle. I know that like playing out like how the furniture is arranged might seem like a not a huge detail, but I think a lot of times it'll guide us as to what the next moves are, what the best moves are as far as how we can get the space to function how we want it to, how you guys will want it to. So that's an option is we can kind of orient things to this wall, which I think will the room will function well. I think there's, you got to be okay, and I think it'll be perfectly okay to have, the traffic go in front of the TV. It seems like it's a bigger deal than it probably is. And then you could do something like I think, having a really cool if, Chris makes if you want to make a really nice big painting here or a couple paint. I mean, I think this could be a really cool wall to because if this is where we're putting the door, if this is the setup we're using, really like cool attention grabbing kind of featurette kind of wall over here. Um, and then yeah, and then maybe the TV gets mounted here. So I think that might be the better play as far as if we want to keep with these dimensions. I think if we add another 2 feet going out from the house, so in other words, move this wall here 2 feet out, we have a lot more options as far as what we could do with furniture. So if we make it a 14 feet in width or an extension from the house, I think that gives us a lot more kind of flexibility and possibilities. And I think it's possible. I think, even if we have to go as far as pouring more footings, I think it might be worth it. The added cost of the square footage is going to be a question for contractors, but, you know, I think you're going through through all this work to get to where we are. I don't know how much sense it makes to cut off those 2 feet. A 14 by 18 or 14 by 16 even gives us a lot more possibilities as far as that. Another option we could look at is instead of having the deck out here, is to put the deck out front, which I know, Chris, you had an option for this in the sketch that you gave me. And I think that could be a good idea because it frees up the space here, so you could wind up putting the couch over here, have a door, potentially a door here, and then you could have your chairs here. So I think, that's certainly another possibility is having the door here. So basically you'd walk straight out and through this would be a door and then onto a deck here. And we could even it could wrap around. But I think that's another potential option or direction to go, or design option to look at. Um, yeah, so I think it'll be those two or those three options. So option one is it's good as it is. We like how it looks as far as the how the furniture is laid out, or we could lay the furniture out differently, but as far as the dimensions of the room, where the door is and where the deck is. So that's one option. I think option two would be if we start to look at exploring um, adding another 2 feet out extension from the house. And then our other option would be we change the location of the deck from out here to out here, and then with that the door. So the door would go from here, so we could put the couch there, and then either, I mean, we could put the door wherever. I think this probably makes the most sense. Um, but yeah, so why don't you guys mull this over, see what you think. Any other comments that you guys have? Obviously, you know, I'm trying to give the biggest, the best idea of what's going on here. Our height might come down a little bit. I got to make sure where our top plate is. I think there's an 8-foot top plate at the rest of the house. Top plate is just where the wall meets the ceiling, essentially. And at 8 foot, I think so. I think it might get a little lower, but for the most part, I mean, it's a big vaulted space. I think, you know, you could even, you know, one could make the argument that it's a little too tall in here with the vault, just based on the dimensions of a room. If it's really, really tall ceilings and kind of a narrow space, it kind of feels, it gets a little echoey and it feels a little like too vertical. Which I don't really think is the case, but you know, it's your guys' call on this. So any feedback that you guys have will kind of help move the process along, and we can certainly go over this on a Zoom call if you want, or if you guys just want to mull it over a little bit, let me know. Okay, thanks.